Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You know you're rolling with your DD broskies over here. You got Bertha, Hurt, and Lanny, and we're here to talk to you guys now that the AT&T dividend cut and spinoff is officially completed.
Before we jump into AT&T once again on this channel, smash that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Thank you, everybody. Help us get to 13 to 14 to 15,000 subscribers over the next few weeks and months. We appreciate all the love and support. You know what? You're absolutely right, Lanny. It's been a little time since we've done an AT&T video. A lot has happened since our last one, so I couldn't agree more. It's a great time to just take a step back now that the transaction's complete and see what exactly is happening, and then talk about what are we going to be doing going forward with these AT&T and Warner Media positions.
Exactly. And I know there's been a lot of videos, a lot of press, a lot of media about the AT&T WarnerMedia official spinoff, combination that occurred here, and it closed officially on April 8th. So now for all the AT&T shareholders, check your brokerage accounts. You may see WBD stock because, guys, us AT&T shareholders now, as long as you haven't sold, but we own 71% of this new company.
Yeah, that is right. The journey with AT&T started a long time ago for us. It was a former top 5 foundation stock for your portfolio, for ours. We loved the company. We loved the strategy. We loved the wireless, the internet, the media, the HBO Max. We loved how they were diversified. Market didn't love it so much, especially with the debt that was taken on. And eventually, here we are today, where AT&T decided to spin off HBO Max, Warner Media, merge it with Discovery to have a new giant that will compete with Netflix, with Amazon Prime, with Apple TV, with everybody.
Exactly. And, upon the close of the official combination of Discover and Warner Media Discovery, again, Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel. AT&T did receive $40 billion in cash. So, no small chump change there. But also it's worthy to note, too, that from AT&T's Warner Media Discovery division, that the CEO did step down just before the deal finalized, more than likely because he knew that his time was no longer.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to do what nobody wants to do. I'm going to be a part of it. Let's see what Discovery. They can take it from here, nurse.
Exactly. So, guys, there's a lot that happened upon this transaction. Again, AT&T shareholders own 71% of this company. So if you were buying AT&T stock over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 plus years, you've probably built up, I know as dividend investors, a lot of shares in AT&T stock, as long as you never sold, your position of AT&T. So I know, Bert, how many shares now do you own of Warner Media Discovery?
Well, I was laughing because I was going to say, you and I built up some pretty large positions here for AT&T. So I know personally, I own 49 shares of Warner Media Discovery. My wife also owns 43 shares. So that means we had some massive AT&T positions because you received about, for every, what was it, 1 share of AT&T, a quarter share of Warner Media? Or did I have it flipped?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Round that out. Yeah.
So then to go back to what was our AT&T position, that means I had 206 shares of AT&T and my wife had 181. And what about you, Lanny?
I didn't check my wife's account, but from my own accord, I owned over 280 shares of AT&T. So I got about 68 shares of Warner Media Discovery. So, again, guys, for every 4 shares, you probably got at least one of WBD, the new ticker symbol for this company.
Yeah. So how large are these positions now that we have? First off, Warner Media is not exactly a small company right now. It's not like AT&T just spun off like a tiny sliver of their revenue from there. Their market cap is $60 billion. They have some huge assets. They're not coming in here without a loaded arsenal here to fight these people. This is a massive company. Warner Media's current trading price after the spinoff at the time of recording this video is $24.88. So my wife's position owning 43 shares is just over $1,000. Mine, almost 50 shares, is over $1,200. In total, we own 2,300 of Warner Media. Again, not a small position by any means. What about you, Lanny?
We own a little over, I think, 16, close to 1,700 of Warner Media Discovery, just in my account. Again, not sure on my wife's account.
Yeah, I
Warner
apologize, everybody. I threw my wife's one into this too. Lanny's just keeping his own separate here, so it's not quite.
Yeah, just from quick access right now. But they're a $60 billion company, Warner Media Discovery. And again, after it happened, AT&T stock price, dropped by about $4+ after the close. And really Warner Media Discovery's prices, that obviously did drop. But, since April 11th, stock price hasn't really moved much all week. Again, AT&T at the close of April 14th is trading at just over $19 per share, and then Warner Media Discovery is trading, closer to $25 a share. So, and again, if you kind of do the math with the decrease in AT&T share price and you multiply that out by the shares that you own, you're actually still somehow, from a market value standpoint, pretty good.
Yeah.
Overall.
It's absolutely hilarious, isn't it?
Yeah. So, guys, we're just trying to tell the investors what's going on with Warner Media Discovery stock, with AT&T stock, trying to tell all the shareholders, kind of what happened and what to look for. To do the quick math on my account, again, at the close of April 14th, I own about 1,700 of Warner Media Discovery shares. So, I would say my market value from the post spinoff is actually up between $500 to $600 in total.
No, I mean, it's awesome. To your point, it's great to highlight how like the two split companies are providing more value to investors. And that's really part of this overall strategy. That's why this was done. It was determined that one massive consolidated company isn't going to provide the value to shareholders needed. So they're splitting it up. They're trying to maximize shareholder value, whether it's one company or two companies split up. But I think the other big update we obviously have to address the elephant in the room about AT&T, Lanny, and what's happening to our forward dividend going forward, because that was the headliner here for AT&T, and that is what shareholders were the most upset about, was all this news of what's happening with that. So do you want to give a quick highlight of what happened with the dividend here, Lanny?
Yeah. So obviously, if you're an AT&T shareholder, you own AT&T stock. Before the merger, your dividend was about $2.08 per share per year, and that's now been cut to $1.11 per share for each AT&T stock. So a significant cut. And to give you an example, I was at about $584 in my own portfolio before the dividend cut. After the cut, I was at about $312.
Yeah.
So yeah, what about? Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, we were combined about $808 here at dividend income from AT&T, and now we're sitting at about $430. So we lost a combined $376 of dividend income from this company with the news.
Yep. And, so for all the income investors out there and the passive income investors, those wanting that dividend, here's a good case scenario. Again, an option that you have now at your table, at your fingertips, if you really want to still hold your AT&T stock and you want to recoup some of that cut from the dividend. You could essentially sell some of your Warner Media or all of your Warner Media Discovery and add it right back, into your AT&T stock position. So for instance, if I did that, if I sold out all 68 shares and bought back in at the under $20 on AT&T, I would add a significant amount of more shares and essentially grab about 86 more, I believe, from my calculation. And I would add about another $95 in forward income. Now, again, I had $585 almost in dividend income before the cut. If I did this, I would still be significantly below where I was, but it would at least bring me up to over 400 in forward income from AT&T if I did this.
Yeah, for my wife and I, if we were to execute this strategy as well, we'd sell our $22,288 in Warner Media. It'd get us about 117 more shares of AT&T. take that, multiply by the $1.11 forward income, we would pick up another $130 in dividend income. So yeah, it's a good point. If you just want to shed yourself of this entertainment stock that's not paying a dividend, it's probably not going to pay a dividend for any time in the foreseeable future, because they got to spend a lot of money to keep up with the infrastructure with Netflix and all of these other companies that are in hyper growth, hyper spend. Yeah, it's an option if you're a pure income investor and you only want that stocks that pay a dividend in your portfolio.
No, exactly. So again, that's an option for the investors out there. And one thing I do need to point out from reading a lot of articles is that, hey, these analysts are pretty bullish on WarnerMediaDiscovery. In fact, the Bank of America analyst is actually expecting a whopping $45 share price target that they have on WarnerMediaDiscovery, which is almost 2 times where they're currently at.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget why we liked AT&T several years ago for having these portfolios, for having all of the Fox, for having all of the entertainment piece under their portfolio, launching the HBO Max brand. Like, there was a reason why we liked AT&T before all this news happened. You take that and then you add Discovery Plus and their full network on top of it. So you're having the cable, all those channels here coming from Discovery, HBO, Fox, all of the other content that is in there. That's huge. This is a company that can compete and hang tight. So yeah, I see why analysts are bullish here on WarnerMediaDiscovery.
Question is who here in the investing community is bullish on WarnerMediaDiscovery? Let us know that in the comments. So guys, the bigger question too that you guys are probably wondering, well, we'll call it the second out of 3 questions, is will WarnerMediaDiscovery pay that dividend to help make up for AT&T's? For what's your take on WarnerMediaDiscovery and their future in dividend payments?
I mean, I don't think WarnerMediaDiscovery is going to be paying a dividend anytime soon. Again, it's what I said earlier. Look who you're competing up against. You're competing up against companies that have no interest in paying a dividend, taking any earnings or any cash flow they have and reinvesting it into building a more dynamic platform or generating content. You got to spend a lot to hang tight in this sector. What about you?
Yeah, you got to spend to keep up. I don't anticipate any near-term plans for a dividend from WarnerMediaDiscovery. So depending on what your dividend or your investing strategy is, obviously you have to make a determination. How does WarnerMediaDiscovery fit in your portfolio?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bert.
No, that's absolutely right. And I was going to say, I think I have to apologize. I don't know why I said Fox for being owned by Warner Media. That my bad, everybody. So pretend I didn't say that earlier, but keep going.
So the other big question is what are the diplomats doing with WarnerMediaDiscovery stock, or WBD, and AT&T or T stock? Or what's your stance right now on these two big companies?
All right, we talked about the option of selling. That's one option. The other option is holding, and that's going to be what I'm obviously doing now. I like AT&T where their dividend is the better right size compete with Verizon. I'm comfortable with the AT&T. Warner Media 2200. It's a small percentage of my portfolio. It's not as if this is going to make or break my portfolio. I'm interested. And little growth isn't going to hurt for me. Again, you can tell, you can hear it. I like this company and their brands and what they have and they're building. So for me, again, 2200, even though it doesn't pay a dividend, some allocation in my portfolio, I'm not sweating it. What about you?
Well, they're estimating about $3 billion in cost synergies with WarnerMediaDiscovery. So people continue to say that that's actually very conservative. So let's hope that they achieve that. Yeah, I'll be in a holding pattern on WarnerMediaDiscovery stock. I'll give them at least 12 months to really see, hey, do they even enter the $40 to $50 range share price? I'm not one to invest for market value, but as Bert kind of said too, it's only $1,700 out of my whole stock portfolio, which is very small. But again, I'm also very aggressive about putting it to work and adding forward income. As you saw in the beginning of the year, when I actually sold out of a bunch of positions that was doing nothing for me on the dividend income front. So, and then as it comes to AT&T stock, not buying anytime soon. And, I built up a pretty large Verizon wireless position, ticker symbol VZ. So I don't think I'm going to be adding to AT&T stock in the near future.
So let us know in the comment section, what are you doing with AT&T? What are you doing with Warner Media? Now that the dust is settled, your brokerage accounts are updated, everything's reflected through this. How do you feel about the two companies and where things are going? If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. Give us that thumbs up. Everybody, happy Easter, happy Passover. Enjoy the holidays with your family too.
Guys, that was Bertha, Hurt, and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats. Over and out.